Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice little lesson for you from the book, wrapping up how to use and harness your the force. Alright, so let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking, mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And the question is, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical. But if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Excuse me. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I'm back on the tree of life. I'm trying to climb you up a quick ladder. So let's make this lesson kind of quick. It's called Q&A. Right thinkers, let's talk about the Q&A of the Anunian theory of the tree of life. So the first question, what is the tree of life in terms of a vehicle to achieve what we call higher consciousness? See these characters right there? Okay, those are the 10 aspects and personality that we're going to talk about right quick. It's called the tree of life. It's like a ladder. Each one of those characteristics, each one of those aspects is like climbing a ladder. Here's another picture of it, how it would break down when we get to the end. You see at the bottom, that guy, that's Haru That's him. You see at the top, that's Ra. They are connected, okay? Your goal as Haru is to reach the Father, which is Ra, by mastering Set, Neftet, Aset, Asar, understand the elements, Geb, earth, Nut, heaven, Tefnut, water, and Shu, air, and Ra, fire. Those are the all forces that if you learn to master them and they break it down for you, you'll know thyself and you'll be master yourself. And when this physical life is over, you go to your Father. That's the concept. Hope you understand it. So let's go. The tree of life is like a ladder, if you will. And it is a web of connections of each aspect that you got to connect for yourself to the physical with the spiritual. Yin and the yang, matter and spirit. A tree in this sense is like a ladder that makes what? A connection, which ordinarily you would think of as a tree that rises up from the ground and reaches up to the sky. It actually connects what? The earth to the sky. The tree comes up from the earth, from what? A seed, and it raises up its trunk and then spreads what? Out its branches. At the top of the tree, you have what? The sky, aka heaven, that's Nut. And at the bottom, you have earth, that's Geb, okay? And this is why in Tantra sexual concepts, the man is representing earth, so he's still. The woman represents movement, that's heaven. The women be on top. So egoistic man think, nope, women on top. Moving on, a little quick lesson. And now you can climb the tree and what? Able to get to the top also. Likewise, you can climb the tree in the Anunian theurgy, concept. And the tree of life of the Anunian theurgy is an arrangement of what? God and goddesses we call Neteru, who are what? Connected, and their connections that which binds them will allow their principles, which they all represent a principle, an aspect of yourself, nature from the first five, physical, human, the next five. You master them, you have knowledge of self. And to be understood in a what? A holistic manner by extending from one to the other. Each one you master, you move up. Each one you master, you move up until you get to the top. Ding, ding, ding. That's where you find yourself. Now, understood now from one to the other. And it encompasses, when you encompass them all from the heaven to the earth, that's the completion, that's the concept. I just showed you a picture of the gods. The god and goddess is the tree of the life of the Anunian theurgy. But the question now is, what is the purpose of the Neteru? Good question. Answer. The Neteru, or the single supreme being, emanates what? Cosmic forces from himself. And those cosmic forces are called Neteru. Again, you right thinkers use the force. You have to know, understand, study, and master each element to master the forces. All right? And they call them God and goddesses. Some form what? The supreme. So from the supreme being, the divinity, comes God and goddesses. Everything comes from the one. And those God and goddesses are given a specific task, aka principle, aspect, concepts that you can learn. They are cosmic forces, again, that have different vibrations, different manifestations, and in time and space in the physical world. And they also have, guess what? Particular colors and ways of feeling. For more insight into the Neteru, you have to see the following diagrams. I just showed it to you. At the top, you got Ra, representing the sun. Then you got Mayat. You got Hetar, which is Hetharu, another aspect of God. The God's left eye, she's the destructive force. And then you got Tahuti, God's heart and mind. He's the thinker. He keeps tracks of everything. He's the ultimate scribe. He's your memory. He's your heart and mind. How about that? Okay. When you master the aspect of him, what do you do? You put that in your pocket, and you got that aspect of yourself. You got Shu, breathing. You got Tufnu, which represents water, moisture. You got Geb, which is the earth. You got Nu, which represents heaven. And then you start with the first, with the sixth aspect, the 3 6s, 666, the beast, mark of the beast. Yeah, because man comes from spirit to matter into the form of human beings. That's Asar. The kid from Geb and Nu, that's Asar, Aset, Set, and that. And depending on who tells the story, you got Haru which is us in the flesh when we what? Know ourselves. That's called great. Haru is you finding and reach yourself, like Muhammad Ali, finding greatness within yourself. That's the goal for all human beings. He made it. Ding, ding, ding. Now, let me just break this down. The picture I just showed you, it displayed what they call the Paute of creation of the Anunian theurgy. Now, Paute, along with the underlying principles, they all represent principles which sustain them. Paute means company of God and goddesses, meaning elements. As explained earlier, been that lesson already, the Paute refers to creation itself. Okay? Remember, sun, air, water, earth, and heaven. That's the Paute. That's what it represents. The deities of the Paute are 9 in number. Here we go. The Enad, and 10, Ra makes 10, the creator. And this includes, I just gave you the names, Shu, Tufnu, Geb, Nu, Asar, Aset, Set, Nephtet, and Haru, Mayat, Hetharu, and Tahuti are not part of the Paute itself. Why? Because it represents principle outside the Paute. Mayat represents balance and order. She runs the universe. You got Hathor, she represents the female aspect of Haru, but she's also the destructive force from Ra. And you got Tahuti. That's your thought process. That's who you are. That's who you present yourself. Once you become master of yourself, that's who you can be. Moving on. All of these is aspects that you can master for yourself. And watch this. They're not part of the part to yourself. Why? Because they are principles. There are subtle principles which support its existence. Again, I just broke it down for you. But then you got Anubis, the jackal-headed god, which from from Asar and Nephet. You got Asar, which represents spirit. Nephet represents mortality. They got together. They had a son, Anubis. He represents discernment. Okay, another aspect of your character that you need to master him, and not a direct production from the Anunian theurgy. Why? Because the creation myth of the Paiute, the company of gods and goddesses, however, he is strongly related to the company as a product of the mating of two members of the company, which I just told you, Asar and Nephet, spirit and mortality, aka mortal life. And he represents instinct as well as a purified mind. Okay, he recognizes truth from lies. So he is a new principle, but emanating from creation itself. Again, that represents the basic human mind at a level of instinctual behavior. He instinctively know right from wrong. He instinctively know a liar from a truth teller. Okay, but not intellect or intuition. He represents he expresses, the canine cosmic force and represents instinct and sense of awareness, as well as correct discernment between right and wrong. Again, you can't lie to him. That's the concept. And as parents, when you had that working for you, your child can't come to you with some BS while you know the difference between the two. So, watch this. This right discernment is important. Why? Because as it is necessary to attain for anyone who wants to enter into the obelisk and start their psycho-spiritual journey of the tree of life, the journey of self-knowledge. That's the key that our ancients took serious, very serious. Okay, why? Being ignorant was taboo. We are more ignorant than we are self-knowledge. How about that? A lot of us don't know ourselves. There's a lot more who don't know ourselves than those who do. My job to help that number change. Why? That's what I do for you, to get you to know you. That's called self-knowledge and enlightenment to yourself. Your degrees don't help you to yourself. As the half-brother of Haru, okay, an aspect of him, which is Anubis, he's what you call an aspect of Whipwat. I mean, he knows the way. He knows the way to go. I'm your Anubis right now. What? I know the way. Come on, I got you. And he represents step. He's preparatory step needed before engaging in the study of your first main principle of the tree of life that allows your vertical movement towards Haru. Or you are Haru. You're starting to go up. You need to get set, Nephet, Asar, Aset, Ged, Nu, Shu, and Tefnu, and then you reach the top. That's the line, and that's the way you climb the tree of life, symbolically. But now, in order to be successful in completely the journey, everyone needs to evolve spiritually and intellectually by learning and knowing and studying each God until they master one as they go, the 10 step. Okay? And why is this? Now, so that So that the characters of the myth of creation and their various forms of interaction, listen, with each other are in reality just an elaborate mystic code relating to the areas of human consciousness which needs to be developed in order for you to grow spiritually. They ain't saying mentally, he's saying spiritually. That means gaining knowledge and living and manifesting for oneself. The first thing that we notice when the divinities of the ancient Egyptian creation based on the teachings of Anu, meaning the first place, they are placed in what they call a hierarchical fashion, from higher to low, subtler to heavier, okay? Now, the fashion based on what? Their order of creation by who? Ra. And their mystic significance is that they are arranged in accordance with their level of what? Cosmological density, meaning the psychic relevance, and density here, what refers to their primordial waters. He is the subtlest, which is Ra, singular principle of creation, the focus of oneness as individual, divine, conscious in what? Time and space, aka the Big Bang. Why? Because the ocean itself transcends time and space, and as beyond existence and non-existence. Ra is the first principle to what? Emerge out of the undifferentiated essence we call the noon. And his emergence signifies what? The beginning of existence, aka time, or the Big Bang Theory. Okay, I got one more question that's going to be a good one here. Just showing you the main god and goddesses that make up the Anunian tree of life. There they go again, okay? And they all have their own personal life that you can study to master, to become what? Master oneself, aka obtain the knowledge. So let me break it down and Quinn, and I can wrap it up for you. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. Now, the second important idea derived from the Paiute is that they represent what? A whole number. The highest number is 9, so it represents 10. Okay, and thus this conveys the idea of what? A special symmetry, as well as the amount of numbers necessary to bring creation into existence, and also produce what? The seemingly endless multiplicity of forms of humans in time and space. Why? It's a recycling. They're born, we die. If we get enlightened, we go back. If not, we come back. That's the cycle of life. And it produced a seemingly, of physical creation, meaning humans. The highest level, which is Ra, is just the post opposite to the what? Lower level of the Paiute with the image of Haru. You see at the bottom, you have Haru. Right here, excuse me. That's Haru at the bottom. And you got Ra at the top. Everything in between is what you have to master, so to speak, like the hopscotch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work your way up to 10. Okay, 10, the big number. So watch this. Now that's Haru. So at one end we see a perfected singularity of what? The Supreme Self, which is Ra. He's at the top. And at the other end we see what? The perfect combination of what? Spirit and matter, in the form of who? Haru, humans. His father was spirit, his mother was wisdom. He come out, he's what? Haru, the hero within you, your best self, okay? So while the figure above me may be understood as what? As a reference to the higher and the lower, the idea and reality, but the figure is not to be understood as a teaching of something because it's lower or above, which is better than something below. No. As above, so below. So it's no better. It is a teaching which expresses what? The essence of creation, containing subtle, like air, water, moisture, earth, heaven, as well as a grosser aspect, meaning human beings, which are all emanated from what? The same source, God. The ancient Egyptian teaching states that what? That which is above is the same as that which is below. They show you that form all the time. But if the above and below teaching is to be applied, it should be first understood as referring to the idea that everything in creation is and should be understood or reflection of what? The spiritual essence, which transcends physicality. Therefore, that which produces good and evil, you can't have one without the other. That's my girl, Maya. In the terms that what human beings conceptualize, what? It is not God, but the perception of what? And the action, aka of human beings. They are the dictators of what's going to be Watch this. God does not have good or evil. Nope. Why? Human beings create that distinction through what? Their IRE, aka actions and deeds, feelings and desires, as well as their relative outcome of their what? Evolution of them as they relate to the particular human being doing the evolution. The physical universe is an emanation from the spiritual essence, and as such is physical universe, is sustained what? By it, the elements, water, fire, earth, heaven, those are all elements that sustain nature. The very matter which was to constitute creation is what in reality spirit in a condensed form, just as when a person falls asleep. Watch this, that's what I say, we in God's dream. As this person falls asleep, their dream world now is what? Condensed out of what? Their own consciousness. You can only dream of what's inside you. You can't dream outside your own consciousness, which is what? Partially composed of subtle matter, individual identity, which is the ego, and the person's desires, the things that you want most. The noon is what? The underlying primordial consciousness of creation. Ra may be seen as the soul of creation, and Tahuti may be seen as what? The cosmic mind of creation. Het Haru may be seen as the vital life force, like Haru's female aspect, force of creation. And my girl, Maya, may be seen as the what? The underlying order of creation. And Tahuti, Het Haru, and Maya, along with Nephotep and Ayoseti, are what? The underlying principles which sustain the Paiute, or aka the forces that come together to make up forms of creation, aka the world. And wrapping it up, I see the clock. I'm going to finish up right now with this little quick lesson of the pathway of the interconnection of the tree of life. That's the picture I just showed you right here. I'm going to go right through that right quick. Hope you get a little quick breakdown. Okay, but these are all personalities that you want to master for yourself. Study them one at a time. Start with Set, that's that. Aset, Asar, Geb, Nut, Tough Nut, Shu, and Ra. Once you do that, that's all about you. All right. Now, how are the gods and goddesses of cosmic forces principle connected and assessed? You harness the concept, you study them, you learn them, you mimic them, you be like them. I just gave you that lesson. Wrapping it up. You got pathways. On the Anunian theology, tree of life, we got a word called cosmic anomistograph. I got a lesson for that coming up, and my next lesson going to be about just that. But you can see, watch this, within the obelisk, there are 10 divinities, 10 Neteru. The top 5 represent what? The subtler planes of existence, aka nature, all right? And the elements of existence, again, nature, air, water, earth, and heaven. The bottom 5 now represents what? The human plane, the physical world, the 3rd degree, which we are right, the top, and the physical earth. Each divinity represents a sphere of cosmic force. They call it chakras in the Kundalini. But you got the spears for the Kabbalah. They use the spears. And they are interconnected in a particular way. And that way is a path to their discovery by starting with one that can lead to the other, and then another, and so on until they are all known by you. Well, we will study more about the pathways of the tree of life. That's why I'm going to take you through that. So you will see all these lines connecting the cosmic forces, the divinities. What do all of these mean? What are all of these interconnections? How does they give us insight into interrelationships of the divinities? Why? Because if we know those and know them and the myths that go with them, it gives us those concepts and ideas. Then we have now? A roadmap as to how to lead ourselves from one to the other, and of course to the ultimate goal, which is Ra. That's AKA knowledge of self, to know thyself, or we know it as Nihas, enlightenment, resurrection, a whole bunch of names they call it, and everybody got a name for it, but the goal is to, as you're an individual, your goal is to make it happen for yourself. Hear about it, know about it, means nothing. Be about it. That's the lesson, right, thinkers. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with more. And in closing, you already know, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. That wouldn't feel too good to me. Appreciate you.